I'm curious. Now then, yeah, wrongin'. Good evening. Welcome to the midweek missive, the Wednesday sermon from the pulpit. Lots to say tonight. Some very interesting things. Oh, that was it. Yes, and just making some notes. Make sure I've got everything to hand, so to speak. And welcome everyone. I just have a couple of comments to start. Make sure everybody's okay. Neil Cunningham, thank you very much. Sunday's live was one of the best yet. Let's go for the top of the class. Kaz 987. Ooh, it's dark in here. Turn on the lights. Anyone? Oh, very good. Sorry, I was trying to speed read that. It's dark in here. Turn on the lights. Love it. The Bovril says, Battenberg at the ready, or should we call it MP cake? The Robbins. Well, those upstanding members of the community, they're always got things in hand. Willie won't. Every time I think of William Ragg, Willie, I just think of the sweet. Willie won't. Well, he did, and that's why he got caught out. When Kaz 987, oh, you mucky tart. When he goes longer, he fits more in. Long and thin, too far in. Short and thick does the trick, seemingly. Andrew James, why can't you get a cup of tea at the Stadium of Light? All the mugs are on the field and all the cups are at Old Trafford. Brutal, Andrew, brutal, but fair. We are just a little bit pants at the moment. Can't swear yet. Give me 20 minutes or so and the sweary Mary will appear. Neil Cunningham, the trophy room at Old Trafford is a bit dusty. Andrew James, agreed. Manchester City's trophy room, on the other hand. Hello, Rich. Evening, Roggins. Adrian, just wanted to say I enjoyed the piece you did on Belfield. Thank you, Rich. Few of them didn't, which, honestly, my incontinence pants have been bursting every 5 minutes, simply because, they don't like it up them. Captain Mallorin, they don't like it up them. But I did my research. And do I talk about him tonight? Do you want me to talk about him? Because, look, I have moderators that look after things. I don't have to see all the stuff and nonsense. And amazingly, YouTube doesn't like some of the comments either. So I will... do you really want me to talk about him tonight? We haven't mentioned him for 6 to 8 months. You might hear me scribbling. That's certainly not the sound of my brain. It's more like a referee's whistle. Time Block Tracy. Evening, pervert. That's Rollins. Neil Cunningham. The adrenaline's kicked in. And because the adrenaline's kicked in, I need to slow things down ever so slightly. Otherwise, my verbosity will go off the charts. Evening TPT from Neil Cunningham. Time Block Tracy responding. Cindy and Sandy. Ooh, just as well I'm sober. Well, saying Cindy and Sandy really quickly, when you've had a couple of liveners. Evening Adrian, evening Cindy and Sandy. I haven't seen you for ages. Where have you been? Have you been hiding? Or did you just do a runner in a canoe and then claim the insurance? Mad Matt UK. Similarly, Mad Matt UK, where have you been? Good evening, everyone. Hope you are all well. And Diane Brooks, evening, yeah. Rollins. It's quickening up now. We can see everybody's getting into the house. So smash the likes, you wrong'uns. There's 140 odd, nearly 150 and 35 likes. Slackers. Drayton. Please, no, unless it's new news. Okay, I'll save that for a separate video because I do have a take on it, on things. And some of the funnier attacks I can tell are bots. And I'll tell you this about YouTube. I believe that I don't. So because I run the channel, I get emails with comments. And YouTube obviously take the real people and the real comments and email you those. So I sort of pass them on to the team, and they deal with them as and when. People that privately email me, well, then they are privately responded to. At the moment, it is insanely busy on the channel. And there's things happening where there's different time frames, and there's different time zones. I'm currently discussing something with someone in Canada that may be watching this evening. But until we've agreed something, and until I get that sorted, then I'm not going to tell you anything about it, because I'm a right tart. But it is very, very, very interesting. It's an interview with someone that part of the team said, Adrian, have you seen this story? So I looked at it and thought that would make a great interview and story. So we're working on that and others. And it's literally a full-time job, this malarkey. So the Jacobites in evening double A, evening ya wrongin'. From the chair. Moderators are working hard this evening, or flaccid, whichever. Michael Collett, dear Adrian, I think I'm the wrong'un tonight. Oh, I say, Michael, why's that? Started watching your live on the PC for a change, and eventually realised it was your Sunday one. Michael, it's an age thing. To Richard Belfield used to add snide comments at the end of his show, then delete them. That way, the poster he commented on got the message. Oh, there was... Well, it's just an old technique. So if you're doing a late night phone-in, or a phone-in on, say, Talk TV or GB News, or the radio arm, not the TV arm. So what I used to do is people that were calling in, and this is the technique that he was using. So people would call in, and I'd have sort of 9 or 10 calls banked up. And I had a pad with 10 lines that I could go through. So I would say to you, right, I've got a question, I want your opinion. I'm just going to go through, and I just want you to say yes or no. So I would anything. Is King Charles ill? And I'd go, right, line 1, yes. Line 2, no. Line 3, yes. Line 4, no. But sometimes my phone up through the glass would, because I produced myself, I don't like producers, because they don't know what they're doing half the time, apart from sitting there having coffee. I qualified for a university. I have a degree. Yeah. Well, Foxtrot Oscar, not interested, mate, because all you're doing is you're just taking other people's ideas from books and putting them in there. They don't really stay in there, as where I've lived life. I know human beings, and like YouTube, I'm learning every day. I don't believe I know it all. Like people that have done university and got a degree, bless them, spunked all that money. For what? It's a business. It's not education. It's a business. And you are the cash cow. Me, I got out to work at 16. I've been working every day since I was 16, grafting. Anyway, technique, radio technique. So, sorry, where did that come from? So the radio technique was... So you'd come on to me and go, oh, hello, Adrian. Yeah, wrong. I want to talk about King Charles. And you were kind of giving the king a bit of a pasting. So what I would do is I would go, so is that what you have to say? Is it? Yeah. Well, Foxtrot Oscar. And the other, out of the 10 people that are on hold, the other 9 would hear me telling someone to Foxtrot Oscar. And if they've never been on the radio before, it's quite daunting talking on a talk show, on a radio talk show. Your backside, 50p, sixpence, 50p, sixpence. And you go on and you go, oh, hello, Adrian, I'm a first-time caller. Right, you're wrong. And what do you want to talk about? Come on, what do you want to talk about? Oh. And that's just a technique to keep everybody on their toes. So you pick a victim and deal with it. And then you just, the other 9 people that are waiting to come on the radio, basically it's a cure for constipation. So I think that's part of the technique that he was using. If he was kind of abusing people and then deleting them, other people would kind of get the gist. Or was it the jizz? No, he's inside. Oh, hello, Karen Ball's back. Everyone, I'm here too. Yeah, wrong'un's loving it. And the live stream. Yeah, wrong'un. The Oop for all useless producers on BBC Radio London. Oh, they're all pants, man. Except, I mean, I did meet some really good people in the BBC. And the art is keeping your head down saying that. Because if anybody gets an idea, there was once I was this particular BBC station. Somebody said, "Oh, Adrian, will you get your invoice in?" Because I was self-employed. Will you get your invoice in? Because we need to get it done today. So I was like, "Oh yeah, bing, 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 send." I sent it to everybody in the radio station, so I could hear people on their computers, and I thought, what is going on? And then the woman who I sent the email to said, did you know you sent it to everyone? Oops. And they found out I was the highest paid person on the station. Oh, God, the knives. They were sharpening them. Oh, when can we... take that. Take that. Oh, you're Robert. You're getting paid more than me. There you go. I was doing 3 times the work of them, slackers. They were sitting there at the computer, just doing absolutely bugger all day. And they got upset when they found out I was the highest paid person on the station. Oh, I laughed my cap off. 2 months later, I was gone. Because I got called into the office. Adrian, we're not going to renew your contract. Oh, thanks very much. Don't matter. I'm off to LBC. Didn't I tell you? Exactly. Foxtrot Oscar, mate. Not coming back. And by the way, my ratings were brilliant. Best ratings you ever had in those time slots. You won't get those again. And they didn't. Hang on. Tower Block Tracy. Tower Block Tracy. Rand alert. Rand alert. What's going on? Who's ranting? I did see Retro. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, I say. Retro's not a CIA agent. He's a good guy. Clever too. 100% on the ball. Who said that, Retro? Why, you should have told them. Oh, yeah, thick tart. Well, just honestly, some people like being abused. I don't mean in the nasty sense, as in it's like Faulty Towers. People went to Faulty Towers just to be abused by Basil. Except the Mini, when the Mini had a thrashing. Frank Boff paid good money for that kind of thing. Alan, oh, don't crash that shipwreck. Alan says, Retro, don't crash that ship. And I agree. And do you know, Retro, I was reading somewhere today that there's all kinds of... I watched this video on my Facebook Reels, and it was a couple of people going, oh, yeah, it's a conspiracy theory. And I was like, look, I've spoken to Retro. I know it inside out. And according to Retro, it was kind of a possibly dirty fuel, but we'll wait and see for the output. And these people are like, oh no, it's got to be Joe Biden. No, it's got to be a conspiracy theorist. I blame the Russians. And I was like, hang on. Retro's had 670,000 views to his video, and he told you the truth. And everybody, although they've watched it, they just love a conspiracy theory. They just love... Oh, you're frightening me. It's like going to the horror movies. You don't go because it's a horror movie. You go because you just want that, little tickle. Mind you, first time I went to see Saw, one of my favourite horror movies, the first time I went to see Saw, literally people were being carried out. People were fainting, couldn't handle it. And I was sat there going, more popcorn, Vigor. Bring the Battenberg out. That'll sort them out. Oh, yeah. Alan, the aliens crashed the ship. Retro said 680,000 views. Retro, that's amazing. I hope you got loads of subs as well. I know you were saying it was hundreds and hundreds. I just hope you got more, because in a world where social media is full of lies and BS and stuff, you absolutely told them it like it should be told, and that's a wonderful thing. That's why I've got so much time for you. It was just wonderful. And it turns out that your hypothesis may actually be true, when other people just want it to be aliens and the Russians and, it's the Ukraine war. I read today that actually the captain wasn't a Ukrainian, he was Indian. But at the time it was, oh, the captain, the Ukrainian, it's got to be the war. It'll be Vladimir Putin and these drones. It wasn't anything of the kind. But people love it, don't they? They just love it. Yeah, exactly. Well done. All credit to Retro for just letting the world know that there is one place and the truth holds, and it's Retro on his bikes. Battenberg on Retro, says Bad Wolf Project. And Rich says, you've just got to laugh at some of the theories out there. I mean, but the other thing is, the problem with social media is, and I was trying to explain this to the new Mrs. Allen the other day, if you kind of go out there, as Joey Barton did, like, here we go, say this, say that, I've got loads of money. And, well, he's gone a bit quiet recently, but when he started it, he was winding people up and people were kicking off. So like here, they'll just kick off or say stuff just to get you to click on the video and click on the title or the thumbnail and get you to watch the video. That's the art on YouTube. I'm not suggesting I'm any good at it, but we're learning. Every day is a school day. And then you go to X and they can't put adverts on your videos on X. What do? It's in the comments. So they've got to get you wound up so that you go, oh, moral indignation, I'm going to type. I'm morally indignated, stuff you. But X just puts the adverts. So all the whole art of social media is just wind people up. And people don't get that. These keyboard warriors, literally, I've got to buy a whole new source of incontinence pants. I wet them every day. Because this is just, well, the lives, the reason I do the lives is because there's some very critical thinkers in the congregation, some wonderful people in the congregation that I can interact with and engage with. And I love doing the lives. Love doing them. You'll notice that there were, I'm only doing an hour. 6 months later, I'm only doing an hour and a half. Another 3 months, I'm only doing an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then on Sunday, I could have kept going. I think it's an age thing. I could have kept going until the toilet called. Sorry, TMI. So, Lynn Turner's in the congregation this evening. Welcome, Lynn. Good morning, congregation. Just sitting in the back of the kirk. Make sure you can squeeze into the pew, Lynn. In the back of the kirk, as having to leave early for an appointment. I'm missing catching lives, and I've only just missed one so far. Bring back daylight savings. The government will probably charge interest on that. Andy, you're most kind. Thank you. What was I going to tell you? So today it's hump day and it's an odd day. And I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. You are going to get an education this evening. Let me tell thee. And also, I hope some of it is kind of funny and engaging and you don't mind. Because I look at the data and I see what's going on. And I know that more and more people are coming to the church, the kirk. Maybe we should give free Battenberg. It might double the audience. Hang on a second. What's that? Jackie Glasgow. Princess Anne sitting in front of me with a giant feather in her hat. Change the camera angle, Jackie. We may be able to see you. But from the pulpit, you're looking mighty fine. Talblock Tracy, Retro on his bikes. Get that tattoo on the bum, lad. If anyone asks to see it, where it is, you can reply, my arse. Do you know even Scotland, they have a different word for that. It's arse. And I should give you an education because there are some words that you definitely can't use on YouTube. Definitely. Like Foxtrot Oscar. Most people just go, oh, sweary Mary, which is fine in certain company. But I know how many men watch the channel. I know how many women watch the channel. And I want this to be a broad kirk. I want women and men to feel comfortable so that I'm not like sweary Mary all the time. Sometimes it's fine when you're angry, but other times when you're not, you just... And I know how many people are watching on the telly. Loads of people watch the videos and the lives on like a big TV. Size Queen. So I know that like my fizzog in your like telly It's a family channel. Quite right, Alan. There's a gag in there somewhere. As long as it's not Joe Biden. Oh, hang on. TV presenter 44 found dead by river. Honestly, I can't. Can you keep up with what's going on in this world? Can you? I mean, I don't know whether that's a subject for this evening. But let me tell you. No, I won't, because other people will nick the idea. So, tonight, on this channel, mate. Come on, 170 of you. Smash the likes. Yeah, wrong. We're going to talk about Baba Vanga. Do you know who Baba Vanga is? I'm going to talk about the royal soap, because it's like every 5 minutes, man. Hang on. I've forgotten about something, and I know I wanted to mention it. I'm going to talk about Rich Boy, because I've worked him out. Honestly, I've got a proper theory. Nathan Templeton's body has been discovered in Australia. Well, he's Australian. Tuesday afternoon. How can I say this? Let me tell you what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about African hard man. No monkey gags, you're wrong. He ran the length. Full length. Nothing better than a full length, from what I hear. Now, actually, I put Bulgarian benefits gang in my notes, but actually, I put Vulgarian benefits gang. Was I thinking of the Vulcans when I was Star Trek when I was writing that? I'm going to give you some news on Downton and a theory. And I know sometimes I might come across as flippant, and sometimes I kind of just, go for it, Adrian, go on. But I do think we need an adult, national conversation around knife crime. And I know that the politicians don't care, but I am trying to get some people who know. I'm trying to get them on the channel. That's why I'm saying to you, it might be that it looks like I'm gliding around like a swan, but honestly, I'm paddling furiously. Andy Turner, Jimmy Jones was the best at swearing. Oh, I agree, Andy. Jimmy was Jimmy. But in Scotland, they've got sweary Mary words that nobody across the border knows. And people go, what's that, Adrian? It's a sweary Mary word. But I'm not going to, abuse you like Fawlty Towers abuse you. And we've got some questions tonight. I'll tell you what the questions are before we do them. But, don't be hitting the ones and twos. The ones and twos, wheels of steel. Got a couple of questions because I'd like your take on things. Because I do like the fact that during these lives, very intelligent, very clever, very articulate people in the comments who kind of give their take on things. And also, is Hayden in the house tonight? Because he normally comes up with some bits and pieces. Josh, sneak into the pew at the back. Josh is late, everyone. And also, I look at the data, and I know that by the time we get to about 20 minutes, most people are in the church, most people are in the kirk and in their pew, and flicking through the prayer book. Nothing better than a good flick in the pew. Start making your own gags up. You're wrong, and I'm being serious. So we've got 4 questions tonight. 1. Is it reasonable for a London hotel to ask a UK citizen for a passport number as means of ID? So I'm going to ask you whether that, because keep an eye on it. You know that, look, in a year's time, you're going to come back and watch these lives and go, bugger me. Because I'm giving you stuff. I'm giving you a jigsaw to put together so that people don't go, he's flying a kite there. He's talking out of his derriere. Or as the Scots say, erse. From the chair, all I said was that Adrian was the first person Alex stalked when pretending to be his friend, which is why he's conflicted about how he feels about Alex. You're not far away from that. Go! The abuse I've had in the last 24 hours. Brilliant! I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What? Do you not know how we survive in Sunderland? Or in the northeast? We're all very friendly up there. Until we're not. And then you find out. And that's why I've been training in a martial art. Not this sporty shite. Not this, I'll kick you. Oh, scored 2 points. I'm talking about the warrior art of ninjutsu. 20 years. 20 years. So if I have to, I will do. I don't muck about. I told you that in my very first video. Don't muck about. What are they going to do? Oh, he's a bad man. Oh, hurty words. At least I didn't stalk anybody. At least I didn't put... Look, there is a phrase. Place people in fear and alarm. In a place of fear and alarm. That's why the Scottish hate laws are going to go absolutely nowhere. Did they place you in a state of fear and alarm? No, did they, buggery? Oh, well, okay. We'll mark it down as shite then. Robert Francis, here one, the thing the police are frightened of, that intelligent road that goes up north. What, the A1? It kind of starts in London and ends in Edinburgh. And the M6. M6 is the same. Ish, kind of. You've got to go the A4, A40, M40, M4. You can bypass Birmingham quite quickly. Right. And what else am I going to talk about? Yeah, so is it reasonable for a London hotel to ask a UK citizen for passport number as a means of ID? I want your opinion, but when I ask the question, not before. Don't be hitting the ones and twos. Wait. Should we have a system of paying into benefits? To get paid benefits? 2 generations? So like my mum and dad, me, or your mum and dad, you, or you if you're a little older, like me, it might be your children or your grandchildren. Should we have a system of paying into benefits to get paid benefits? 2 generations. Notice. Winston Churchill. Not the... Jackie Glasgow. In US, they're trying to whip up fear of the next pandemic. Because there will be one. Avian flu. Those I've spoken to are having none of it. Or the avian flu. So it's... look, I'll kind of direct you to your memory. Now, I don't know why I'm pointing there, because how on earth can you identify where your thoughts come from? You can't. So what goes on in the grey matter is that thinking... Bovril, the next... What? Honestly, I say to you, don't be pressing any buttons. Not the ones and twos. No buttons. And you press the buttons. So, the Bovril, the next pandemic starts in June. I say. That's why we're going to talk about Baba Vanga. Because she's made some predictions for 2024. And I don't think they're going to be that far away. Third question, no ones and twos yet. You're wrong. Honestly, you go off too quick. I know that about you. Should mobile phone sales to under 16s be banned? We'll talk about that a little bit later. And final, do you want the same hate law as Scotland in this country? The old Bovril, I agree, but it's a family channel. Josh Mack, everybody had... Sorry, it's a northeastern phrase, had you wished. Hang on, because we've got stuff to talk about, man. Anyway, next live is Sunday, 14th of April. That's this coming Sunday, if the cooking sherry has been kicking in, you're a little squiffy. Andy Turner, 79. Always got to be larger. So the next live is this coming Sunday, 8 p.m, as always. What was I going to say? So, did you, April 8th? Oh, do you know, we were all going to die. We're all going to die. Oh, my God, it's a solar eclipse. We're all going to... Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So that's the state of the American nation. That's why they're shite fighters, man. They've got to have, I fly jets. Or, yeah, got big machine guns. Yeah, we've got bombs. They're pants fighters, man. Cindy and Sandy, try 79. It's a new thing. Actually, that would scare me. Was that 7-Up? Thought that was an orgy. Oh, everyone's at it this evening. Ha 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 ha. So the Americans are not very good fighters, but you put a Brit against them. That's why our special forces are so blooming brilliant, and our armed forces, any of them. That's why we're so brilliant. That's why we're revered around the world, because we're proper fighters in this country. Proper. We've had to repel the hoarders from the Vikings just after, Jesus H. No, he didn't. He went, his missus and his bairn went to France to live there. Do you want to talk about that? Holy Grail, said Batman. So the Americans just got their panties up in a bunch, man. Oh, what we're going to do? I'm a prepper. I've got rice in my garage that's going to last me 5 years, said the American. And I've got guns. Well, you'll starve to death. What do you need the bloody guns for? And that's why they're pants fight, man. They've not had to use these. 3 points of immobilization. Shan't tell you what they are. Can't encourage it. And I train in ninjutsu, so I don't have to use it. And ninjutsu, it's an art, not a sport. Anything with kendo and karate do, they're all sports. Do at the end, because in the Meiji Restoration in 1869, where's this coming from, Adrian? The Emperor of Japan deemed the warrior ways barbarous, so they all changed into sports, except two. Jiu-jitsu went underground, but more importantly, ninjutsu, which is why the ninja are so revered. So they will use anything as a weapon. Now, I know you're going to laugh at this, but I could show you that a credit card's a weapon. In certain hands, it definitely is. But we train in open-handed technique, all of them. So if you take judo and karate do, every single martial art, it's incorporated in kung fu. Well, that's not a do. It's neither a su either. It's Chinese, not Japanese. So a lot of the martial ways became sports after the Meiji Restoration in 1868, 1869. The emperor deemed it so, but ninjutsu went underground, proper underground, and I won't go into it too much deeply, but there were certain sensei, Japanese word for teacher, it's not any more special than that. They went off. Takamatsu sensei. Just look up Takamatsu. Oh, he was some boy. He was proper. I mean, he went off. Mongolian Tiger was his nickname. He went off doing all kinds of stuff, bits and pieces. So hang on. Cindians. I'll hang on. I'll answer that in a second, because I've already talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Somebody's obviously watched this and had a word with Cindy and Sandy. So ninjutsu is it's a wonderful art. It's an art. There are certain gates of enlightenment. There are certain things that we do, and it's a lifetime's work. It's not just go and get a belt after 6 months or buy your black belt, or although in certain schools that can happen. It's a beautiful art, and if a little Hattori joins school, then Ryu, R-Y-U, Ryu, school. We encourage them to take up a musical instrument. And that's how I became a Reiki master. That's why I study shiatsu, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, all kinds of bits and pieces. So that's why my teacher encouraged me to take on those, because he said, we're teaching you how to hurt people, Adrian. We'd like to teach you how to heal them. So there you go, another bit of information for you. I've been a Reiki master for 18 years. Oh, good to have Aiden in the Kirk. I've just got Hong Kong Fooey going through my head. Now, well, yeah, mild-mannered janitor, mild-mannered YouTube creator. I haven't got any filing cabinets in the room, though, thankfully. So I wanted to talk about, and I want to stop saying so, and I want to stop saying now. So laugh at me if I do. Retro says, I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu. I also know what you or you were working in Japanese? Oh, what I was saying. Brilliant. And you will notice that most people that study the warrior ways, they are peaceable. They go about their life and their path, and they don't make a fuss. But when they need to, oh, you just chose the wrong way. Because they will teach you a lesson. And maybe that was your destiny and that was your lesson. I remember being in a proper cowboy film fight in a pub once. And there was me and five of my, we'd just been training for the day. And we were sitting there just being peaceable, having a bite to eat because we were starving. And a little livener. And it proper kicked off in this pub. And one of the other lads said to kind of the highest ranking teacher there, oh, let's get stuck in. And he said no, because why would we stop them meeting their destiny? And I thought, fabulous, I'll get on with me shepherd's pie then. Who's that? Alan says, was Bruce Lee murdered though? I have seen some theories around Bruce Lee. And I mean, he was a super fast, super fit, but he also had the esoteric about him and the ethereal, which I really, really like. He's I think I've got quite a few different theories going through my head about Bruce Lee. Some of them say he was. Some of them say that... what was the film where... Oh... Was it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Where Brad Pitt fought, like, what was the equivalent of Bruce Lee in the film and gave him a kicking. And that seemingly... was supposed to be true, but then people came out, not Enter the Dragon, people came out and said, oh no, that wasn't true, Bruce Lee never lost. It's kind of a machismo thing. Look, if you're in a proper fight, well, you don't want to be in a proper fight. Because I've seen some terrible things on the streets. Let's move on, shall we? Yes, Adrian, why not? You're in the pulpit. Fire away with this evening's sermon. So, I'm going to... Right, we'll get you on the ones and twos, then I'm going to tell you about Baba Vanga's predictions. So, first question. Do you think it's reasonable for a London hotel to ask a UK citizen for a passport number as a means of ID? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you think it is reasonable for a London hotel to ask a UK citizen for passport number as a means of ID? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just give you like 10 seconds or so while I take a gobful. You're wrongin'. Not that kind of wrong gobful. It's Bithceth. Interesting. Do you know, I thought it would be very black and white, very clear which way it would go. Unlike some people I know. Pauline Makepeace makes a very, very, very... You weren't in that TV series Dempsey and Makepeace, were you, Pauline? Makes a very good point. I don't have a passport, Adrian. Very, very good point. Thank you for that, Pauline. Me neither at the minute. I can't find it. And I'm going away in a month or two, and I need to get my passport. And do you know, just as a little aside, Cindy and Sandy, very interesting. They're putting the price of passports up tomorrow being Thursday, midnight tomorrow. So I've got to get a new passport. I've got to fill the form in, get it off. I've got to get this fizzog in a digital photograph for them and get it sent across online. Otherwise, I'll pay another, it's like 7 or 8 quid. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. God blimey. So is it reasonable for a London hotel to ask a UK citizen for passport number as a means of ID? The reason why I wanted that question as number one, and thank you for everyone that responded, was because, if you get Labour as a government, you're getting Tony Blair again. And what does Tony Blair want? He wants digital ID so he can make some money on the side. Evening, Tony. Yeah. And you're a paedophile. a very prolific paedophile that was in a video with you, Tony, in Sedgefield. Aye, mate. Don't want you back, war criminal. He just wants digital ID. He is a Manchurian candidate. He is working on behalf of the Chinese government, because the Chinese government want to control our digital ID. So that's why I wanted to ask you, because apart from Pauline, most people have passports. So if you have a passport, why do you need a digital ID? Oh, yes, all the children coming through. Yes, well, what we'll do with a digital ID, and we'll be able to put their medical records on there so everybody can have a look. Unless, of course, you're Catherine, Princess of Wales, in which case your medical records end up being sold on the dark web for 250 grand. Oh, you didn't know? That's why they came out and told you. It's on the dark web. Don't know whether they got the $250,000, but it's on the dark web, according to my sources. Andy Turner says he's not got one. Sorry to hear that, Andy. Modern technology and sciences can give you amazing things nowadays, so I'm told. I want to tell you about Baba Vanga. Now, Baba Vanga was a Bulgarian. There's kind of a theme running through tonight with Bulgarians. And she died in 1996 and even foretold of her own death, obviously. And she was a blind mystic from Bulgaria, revered, because she had an 85% success rate, and she's predicted a couple of things that I'm just going to leave here for you, so that you can revisit it in 6 months or a year, find out whether she's right or not. Now, according to Baba Vanga, there's going to be a fall of a powerful object from space. Now, some people have already speculated that it could be a meteorite. Would it be a meteorite when the world is set up, the globe is set up, so that things bounce off because of the way things are? Is it gravity, or is it the Van Allen belt? Not mine, before you start. I haven't got a van. But they're saying it's either a meteorite or a satellite. And it's going to impact a major city. Now, she made this prediction, what's it, 96 now, nearly 30 years ago, for 2024. Same Kathy Harper, what's that? Sorry, Pauline. So that'll be interesting, because there's loads of them satellites up there. I don't think a meteorite's going, that's the place of filming and Hollywood and making stories up. Oh, yes, there's going to be a meteorite. We're all going to die. Meteorite hits the ocean, then drowns everyone. More like a satellite. Oh, can you imagine? And I don't want to wish this on anybody, but if anything falls out of the sky, look, remember. Now, this has been squashed from 9/11. Can you remember, I think it was about 2 weeks after 9/11, an engine fell off a plane. Can you remember that? And fell into, was it New York? It was one of the American cities, and thankfully fell into the backyard of somewhere. That was squashed very quickly. As Rich says, travelling through the Van Allen belt is an astronaut, gives you the same radiation as... Where's that gone? I agree with you. A human being can't travel through the Van Allen belt unless you work for NASA. Yeah, Andy says we'll get Retro on the case. Retro knows. So the first of three predictions was Baba Vanga says there's going to be a powerful object is going to fall from space. Meteorite? No, it's going to bounce off. Or is it going to be a satellite on a major city? Now, we've had similar, as I say, 2 weeks after 9/11. I don't know whether you remember the story. I do, because at the time I was reading every single newspaper and listening to every single news source and watching every single news source. And I remember that engine falling off. They thought it was another 9/11 attack. But then it was just all quiet. Secondly, There's going to be major devastating earthquakes in the Himalayas, Andes, and or Alps. So around the world, there's going to be devastating major earthquakes. And we're kind of, I mean, look at poor New York, 4.8. Blimey, I've had more of an earthquake falling over when I was absolutely squiffy. It was 4.8, yes. You measuring it on your Richter scale? It's New York. And they're bigging it up as if it was the end of the world. I mean, I lived in Nottingham for a while, and there was a 5 point odd, 6 point odd earthquake in the middle of the night. I slept through it. I was on my own, slept through it. Mind you, I've also slept with the window open when it's been -20 outside. Shanty drinking southerners. Hayden says it's E.T. coming home. Welcome him back. We'll make a few bob off the film. And finally, her third prediction. This is all for 2024. And where Vivian Darlow says, love E.T. Me too. I cried. I'm man enough to be able to admit that. I cried. And my sister found me and laughed her head off at me. Okay. Third, there's either going to be, and I don't want you speculating here, we don't want to wish anyone ill, but seemingly Baba Vanga says there's going to be an assassination or a sudden death of a major political leader, which could significantly impact international politics. Now, I'm not going to speculate, but I think you know where we could go with this. Say to you again, Baba Vanga has said there's going to be an assassination or a sudden death of a major political leader which could significantly impact international politics. Too predictable? I mean, could you say that every year, really? And get away with it? I was like 200 countries around the world. Got a 1 in 200 chance. I'm not going to repeat what some of you are saying in the comments. Yeah, utter wrong-uns. You've had too much Battenberg. I think the sugar's gone to your head. I wanted to tell you a story, but, you know, they're the 3 predictions. Just watch out for them. You never know. She's got an 85% success rate. So 1 out of 3, 33%. 2 out of 3, 60-odd%. Ooh, 2.5. 2.5 out of 3. I wanted to tell you a story. We will get some of the serious stuff, but I just wanted to bring some lightness to the proceedings, to the sermon this evening. And I can't tell you how I know, but I just do. And there was, this is in Musselburgh, so it was where I used to live. And 2 girls went out and decided that one of them would invite their friend over, and they would, let's go out. Let's go for a few beers. Let's go for a few jars down to the local pub. Yeah, all right then. So the 2 girls who weren't really going to do anything went out to the local pub and pulled this quite handsome chap. So they're having an evening. They pick up this male, and they're having a good time, and the alcohol's flowing, and then the 2 girls, oh wait, let's take him home. Let's take him home and have a dance. So they get back home, and one thing leads to another. They've had a bite to eat. They've had their drunk food, you know, kebab to soak everything up, and a threesome ensues. But unlike, you know, in the movies, there's stuff that goes on in, like, emotions. I'm cleaning this up desperately. So they kind of, you know, start doing the light fandango, and one of them gets her nose pushed out, metaphorically. Yeah, wrong. Hang on, Retro says he was washing up, and so the friend of the girls whose house it was, the friend that had gone across to stay with the girl, the friend that had gone across to stay with the girl and suggested they went to the pub for a few jars, was getting down, baby, getting on the good foot, and was having a rare old time of it. The girl that owned the house was like, well, I'm not happy with this. She wasn't getting any action. So she went upstairs and, slashed her wrists. So ambulance were called. The boys in blue were called. And I just thought, do you know, from little acorns, it's not a slight on the boy before you start. Hang on, Tracy Ann Cannon. I'll get to that in a second, Tracy. It's one of those. I mean, it made me laugh, thinking, oh, I'm not very happy. She's getting more than me. I'll show them. Human beings, man. Now, as queer as folk. Retro on his bikes. All space travel has been within the Van Allen belt, so that's why astronauts haven't been radiated. Unlike our food, which is completely irradiated. Adam, oh yeah. Adam says cock blocked. Yeah, term I haven't heard for a long while. Hello, Adrian. I follow a travel blogger who recently visited Sofia in Bulgaria. I couldn't believe when he said, oh, there's a Battenberg mausoleum in Bulgaria. Tracy Ann Cannon, you're too kind. I immediately thought of you. Oh, it's not me that's using it, you're wrong. But Sofia, I've been to Sofia in Bulgaria. I skied in Bulgaria. I was going to tell you a story when I talked about the Bulgarians nicking 45 million quid from the benefit system. I was going to tell you about it because Bulgaria is not. I mean, on one hand, of course it is. It's a beautiful country. They have some very odd customs. And Rich, stop being a wrong'un. Oh, we did go to the moon. Throws a bomb, lobs a bomb, walks away. Or is it light blue touch paper, walks backwards quickly. Shall I tell you now? So I went skiing in Bulgaria. Oh, many moons ago. Many moons ago. And you can pick up really cheap. I went to Borovets. You can pick up really cheap holidays to Bulgaria. And if you go to Bulgaria and go to Borovets, now this is cool. Last time I went there, 2011. So you're looking at 13, 14 years ago. I'm sure it's changed. Not. So we get there. The hotel wasn't a bad hotel, but it was an all-inclusive. And we thought, oh, this is really cheap. This is fabulous. This like 300 quid all in for a week. Skiing. Brilliant. I mean, I'm sure it's not that now. But we get there. First night. This is pig swill. We went down for dinner. This is pig swill. Oh, come on. Let's go out. I mean, I was like, no, it's fine. I'll eat this. And they're like, no. The group that I was with, no. So anyway, we went out to a restaurant. Next day, we meet our friends in another hotel. And the staff were all it was really weird. They were running around, looking a bit scared, looking a bit frantic, looking a bit everything. This is like the Sunday. And I said, so one of our party was very, very, very good friends with one of the locals. And we said to the locals, what's going on? Oh, haven't you heard? No. The manager of the hotel was taken up the mountain yesterday and shot. And I said, don't be silly. That only happens on Crime Watch. He said, no. Genuinely, he was making too much money. The local bad boys weren't happy with him because he was making too much money and they weren't. So he was eating into their profit. So he was shown the error of his ways. He was taken up the mountain and shot. So the deal was that, and I'm sure this has changed, but the deal was that the local bad boys used to obviously go and take protection money from the local restaurants. And me and some of the group were sitting there having a steak, and a boy walks in. I mean, it was freezing outside, but he was wearing your archetypal OCG coat, leather, and he walks in, and I clocked him immediately, and I said to the group, "Oh, bad boy in. Here we go. What's going to go on?" So he went to the bar. Just had a little bit of pizza and had a few beers and got the brown envelope and disappeared. And I was like, hang on, this is only Monday night. We've only been here 3 days, and already we know who the OCG is. We already know that somebody's killed somebody up in the mountain, and it's all just organised crime controlled. And you know when it's that controlled, when you've got lap dancing bars everywhere. Well, there were when I was there. I mean, I'm sure they've changed. Not likely. So, no, I didn't go in the lap dancing bars. Not my thing. I'm too boring. But 4 days, I'd lived like hundreds of years with all kinds of stuff. You couldn't make it up. You literally couldn't make it up. If I put it into a script and submitted it to the BBC or ITV, they'd be like, no, get stuffed, Adrian. How do we end shite, man? You can't put that in there. They'd never believe you. We didn't eat in the hotel for the rest of the week. That's how we were finding stuff out, because we weren't in the hotel eating pig swill. No, I'm not going to name the hotel, but that's the game. They get all the Westerners across in there on cheap holidays, and then they make you go out and spend your money in their bars from the hotels that they control. Nice grift. No, I've not been back. What we're going to talk about? What I say, Baba Vanga? Oh, yeah, let's talk about the royals, man. I mean, I've said to you before, every single week, preferably on a Wednesday, this soap opera that can't we have a royal family that are regal? Can't we have a royal family that is revered around the world? Can't we have a royal family that we can kind of look up to, and the royal family are there seemingly for our pastoral care? But, I mean, today, look, I think that the king is... Now, somebody said to me, are they going to remain nameless? And it has been talked about in the comments that they reckon that King Charles has pancreatic cancer and has 2 years to live. Now, that puts a different complexion onto things completely. I hear today that King Charles is reported to want to invite Prince Harry and the wife and the kids to Balmoral during the summer. Now, normally in Scotland, it's Royal Week, where they do all of the varying investitures and they have garden parties. I've been there. Maybe one day I'll tell you the stories. I haven't shook hands with the Queen, but met the Queen in Edinburgh. And Andrew, well, he was there, kind of. He was there to play golf in East Lothian. But, Rich, yeah, I kind of get that, but it's this soap opera thing. It's maybe I'm on my own. You tell me whether you believe that we should have a regal royal family, because what we've got here is a bloody soap opera. It's nothing better than a soap opera. And so even if the king is, handing out an olive branch, why do they call it holding out an olive branch? Have you seen an olive branch? The leaves on an olive tree are tiny. But seemingly, King Charles wants to see the kids. Now, if it is true that the king only has a couple of years left, and let's face it, nobody gets out of here alive. We're not going to live forever. But if he's got a couple of years, maybe then, he's looking at his own mortality and maybe he wants to see his grandchildren. Well, they're definitely Harry's. And have you also noticed how this thing about the moon bump is coming out? Now, they do say that at one point the internet was cleaned of anything to do with a certain person. And there was a very blue film of that person whom we shan't name. That's disappeared again. So whenever they're upset, certain parties, this film reappears. Don't know why, but can anybody clean the internet? Seemingly those with enough money and power can. But she's so the king wants to see his grandchildren. Are they his? Is he Harry's dad? They're definitely Harry's. And a weft puppet to boot. Yeah, absolutely, Jackie. So I think there is an element that could be. Hello, Terry. Hang on. Family has always been like that. Think Margaret and Pete Townsend. Oh, Margaret was some girl. Cool, blimey. Shan't say what I know. What was his name? Bindon. Not. Can't remember his first name. Bindon, the actor, who Margaret loved to bits. Loved having him around for sport. Terry Wookford, another one who liked big soldiers. Yeah, Bindon used to get 4 half-pint glasses on his schmegel. So, YouTube algorithm won't know what that is. But he did. And he was a bit of a hard man in, pun intended, before you start, stay with me, you need to keep up. John Bindon, thank you, Tablock Tracy. John Bindon used to be able to line up 4 half-pint glasses. Margaret loved him. Big soldiers. So Margaret, I had a rarer life, but she was always the spare. But do you know something? People would say Margaret's the spare, and Margaret kind of just partied. She was a bon vivant, told great stories, but there's Princess Anne, the spare. And has that been a problem for her? She's just got on in service and done her best by the country. I don't think anybody could have a bad word to say against Princess Anne. Although I know some stories. I'm definitely not repeating them here. Definitely not. Barry Singleton. So, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough. So, Princess Anne has always been in service of the country. I could tell you that great story. I can't. They're still alive. I know. Oh, no, I can't. They're still alive. Let me have a think. Just slow this down, Adrian. When she was young, she couldn't ascend to the throne. It was male line of accession at the time, wasn't it? Yeah, Rich, I think you're right. I think it was the Queen changed it. Last couple of decades or so, possibly since Margaret died. But Princess Anne, the spare, and beautifully blunt, as Hayden says, as blunt as the late Duke of Edinburgh, which is brilliant. I'll just tell it like it is. Foxtrot Oscar, brilliant. I mean, having Anne as the Queen, that would be brilliant. But she's been in service to this country all of her life. And yet, ginger sphericals. Wee, wee, wee. Oh, mate, man, he's supposed to be ex-military. Wee, wee. He sounds like he's trying to pass one a really big, long jobby. Wee, wee. I'll just put a dummy in his mouth. Oh, yeah, I've killed loads. 25 on the PlayStation 5, you wrong'un. Wah! Exactly. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is I genuinely want to see how this plays out, because Harry is desperate to be king. And Harry's desperate for Meghan to be queen. Not as desperate as Meghan, but still desperate. He wants Meghan to be the Hollywood angle, to bring I'll say beauty and glamour and Hollywood to the throne of England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Well, bagger off, mate. You fecked off to America, stay fecked off. And then when you get there, feck off some more. We're not interested. But he is. He wants to be king. Now, let me tell you something. I agree with Alan. It's not going to happen. He's nothing. But they do have a word for this. It's called treason. Now, if this had happened in Henry VIII's day, oh my word, oafed with his head. He would have said it in French rather than English, because they all the posh spoke French. They didn't speak English. As Richard I once said, he was French-ish, kind of. And Richard I kind of lived in, was it Anjou for a while? Oh, bagger, hang on. Let me just stick it in. I forgot about this, which is why my battery's running out. Oh, no longer. Give it a quick injection, Adrian. So, like, some of the kings and queens previously have either been French-born or French nobles, and they want to speak French. And now... Pop-eyed Wazza, Harry Regina. He's got one of them, definitely. A Regina? Oh, that's not what you meant. I thought it was bloody funny, though. Bad Wolf Project, Harry, run to the litter. He is, but he's still the spare. Anne's the spare. Harry's the spare. He can... we want privacy. We want privacy. That's... Bugger off. I won't go down the IPP route again, because we've talked that ad nauseum. But, like, the missus, she's brought out her own line of makeup. Why? She wants to be a billionaire. Harry, you haven't got the brains for it. But, you know, what kind of a woman actually could grift that hard and be that successful? Terry, you utter wrong'un. No, I'm not repeating that, but... yeah, wrong'un. But let me tell you what's happened today, because it's like, I don't know whether it's Wednesday, and they sort of release all this guff on a Wednesday so that we go, oh, let's get a Friday and bury it. That's the story, not anything else, before you start making your own gags up, although they are funny. So, Harry's visa application. Oh, I say, Harold, what on earth? Seemingly, Harry's visa application has been handed over to a judge. Here comes the judge, said 10cc. Here comes the judge. And President Joe Biden's lawyers have confirmed that they had complied with a court order to hand the visa application over. The Donald says, when I'm made president, I'll send him back in. Wait, don't send him back here. You're on. We don't want him. Send him to Canada. But he wants to be the Viceroy of Canada. Send him to Canada. He won't want to go there. Justin Trudeau would make his life hell. Hang on, what's that? Michael Collett. Harry, it's a real shame how he has turned out, as he did some work experience at a company I used to work at and was a lovely lad and made a nice cup of coffee, and his SES minder was nice too. Yeah, Harry didn't kill the Taliban, man. Somebody's been lying to him. You ask any of the squaddies that were out there at the same time. Good to see, because it's, you know, continuity. It's good to see that King Charles, without his sausages, is on the new banknotes, seemingly. How long we'll have those? Oh, who knows? 2030, well, we've only got another 6 years. 2030, it'll all be digital ID. Oh, did I say that out loud? So the royal family, it literally is just a soap opera. Hang on, who's that? Hang on, Nicholas. You've always had a thing for pink polo shirts since your soul DJ days. Very cool. How do you know? I can't remember. I mean, look, only real men can wear pink. So, how do you know, Nicholas? You're utter wrong'un. Which nightclubs did you? Rich has. I have one. I get lots of comments. You have one what? Look, I'll leave you to chat amongst yourselves, whatever's going on. But Nicholas, love to know. Do you know when there's a couple of things in life that I really, really hate. And hate's a strong word. Oh, pink shirt. Very nice. Oh, Viv Kenyon, you're smooth. Talking bar, Stuart. Pretty in Pink, Adrian. Who sang that? Viv, who sang that? Pretty in Pink. Oh. God. Hang on. I've got to get this. It'll literally crease me all night if I don't get this. Who sang Pretty in Pink? Nicholas. Oh, the Psychedelic Furs. Tower Block Tracy. Thank you. What a great song that is. Psychedelic Furs, Pretty in Pink. You got me on music again. Let me tell you a story. Nicholas, so which... Was that at Walkers in Newcastle or was it in Shields? Oh, it must have been Walkers. Oh, Nicholas, you're letting the secret out of the bag now. Was that Walkers we did together? Must have been if it was Newcastle. Let me tell you a story. And it's quite a convoluted story, but it's fabulously funny. Fabulous. So, I was working at Walker's, and I was also working at something called the Chelsea Cat in South Shields when I was a nightclub DJ, but this was sort of also my radio days, the early mid-80s radio days. I think it was about 87, 88. And I worked with a guy that I loved to bits. He was as funny as a guy called Gary Minosh. And, oh, Nicholas, hang on. So that must... Oh, so were you one of the residents at Walker's when I used to guest there, Nicholas? Fabulous if you were. I had some great nights at Walker's. Fabulous farming. Oh, just proper music and proper dancing and proper style. It was just, Walker's was brilliant. So there was one night where Terence Trent D'Arby was playing at Newcastle City Hall. And I'd been given tickets from the record company to go along, and I think it was Cameo. Was he supporting Cameo? Because we had a rare old night at Walker's with Cameo and Terence Trent D'Arby, I'm sure. Anyway, so the record company gave me some tickets, and I say to my mate Gary, "Do you want to come to City Hall? We'll watch Terence Trent D'Arby, and the record company have invited him back to Walker's afterwards." And he's like, "Oh, you're joking. Terence Trent D'Arby. Oh, he's amazing. He's wonderful. Oh, he's like a brilliant dancer and he's a brilliant singer and I love his music." And I was like, "Okay, then do you want to come to City Hall?" "Oh, no. I'll be at Walker's." I'm just trying to out Nicholas in case this is Gary. I was there that night that Gazza got kicked down the stairs. I think he was given a kicking in the toilets and then possibly kicked down the stairs. Anyway, so my mate Gary, he's like, "Oh, all unnecessary. He's brilliant. Oh, I love him. And if you can remember Terence Trent D'Arby, he was a thing. He was a huge name in the late 80s. So it gets closer and closer and closer. And I had a friend from one of the record companies in London coming up to Newcastle. And I said to him, "Look, if you don't want to come to City Hall, I'll see you in Walker's afterwards. I'm going to go down there with a couple of people. We'll watch the gig and then we'll go back to Walker's." So, yes, I agree, Nicholas. So, we get to the night of the gig. Everything's smooth. Everything's fine. Everything's in flow. Terence Trent D'Arby does the gig, and then we hightail it back to Walker's. And my mate Robert from London, from EMI Records, I bump into him and I'm like, "Jesus, Robert, You're an absolute ringer for Terence Trent D'Arby. He had the braids and everything, and it was just wonderful. I said to him, you're an absolute ringer, Robert. He said, I know. Everybody thinks I'm Terence Trent D'Arby. I said, right, stay there. So I run downstairs and find Gary, because Walker's was on a split level. Upstairs was the nightclub, downstairs was like the cafe jazz bar style place that everybody went to first. And I said to Gary, now don't say anything, don't let on, but Terence Trent D'Arby's upstairs. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, look, Terence Trent D'Arby's upstairs. He's a bit knackered after the gig, but I might be able to get you upstairs to see him before everybody else goes upstairs. Do you want to do that? And Gary was like, do it. Go on, do it. Oh, I can't believe this. He's amazing. Go on, get it done. Come back down, tell me. So anyway, I walks upstairs and said, look, Robert, just play along for about 30 seconds or so. And then, we'll just, no phones or anything. So we might have a camera or we'll do something, sign him an autograph or something, but just, not for long, because we've got stuff to do. Anyway, I goes back downstairs. Gary, come with me. Terence Trent D'Arby has said yes. He'll meet you, but it's just quick because there's nobody else upstairs. There's Terence and a couple of girls. Obviously, he doesn't want, to play the big I am. So just be cool about things. So I take him upstairs, and literally as you walk through the doors in Walker's, the DJ booth was here, and Robert from EMI Records was sitting with two girls on a separate bar. Gary sprints over to him and goes, oh my God, it's Terence Trent D'Arby. Oh, Terence, I love you. Honestly, Terence, I love you. And went flat down on his knees going, oh, I am not worthy. I love you. Terence, I love you. And Robert was looking at me, and I was looking at Robert, and Robert was like, get this sorted. I'm not. Get this. Gary wouldn't leave it alone. Oh, Terence, I love you. Let me shake your hand. I love you. And Robert's looking at me going, get this sorted. So it just goes, Gary. What? It's not who you think it is. He looked at me. He stands up and he goes, what do you mean? I said, it's not who you think it is. He said, it's Terence Trent D'Arby. I said, no. No, it's not. Yeah, yes, it is. You've told me it is. Looks like him. No, it's not. It's my mate Robert from EMI Records. Oh, I literally had to get my freak on and run out of the nightclub. The bouncers on the door were like, Adrian, what are you doing? Stop him. I mean, I've never laughed so much. Oh, Terence, I love you. And I'm like, Gary, it's not who you think it is. What do you mean? It's not Terence Trent D'Arby. What do you mean? My mate Robert from EMI Records. That's not the end of the story. So he calms down, as in Gary, calms down, and we had a great night. It was a brilliant night. I had a great night. I did a bit of DJing, and it was brilliant, because there was one DJ downstairs who did the bar, did a bit in there with a laser show, and then I went upstairs and did the thing. And then it was a great night, and everybody went home. Robert from EMI Records was thought it was partly funny, but went a bit too far, so wasn't sure it was a great thing. And a couple of weeks later, I was at TFM, and the receptionist rings up and goes, Adrian, I've got a phone call for you from somebody who says they've met you on a dating site. What? Should I put her through? And I was like, hang on, I'll come down to reception. So I went down to reception and I said, who's this on the phone? It was just somebody who said that she's been speaking to you on a dating site, and you gave her this number. I was like, no. Anyway, I got back upstairs to the office, put her through. And the receptionist puts the caller through, and I say, hello, it's Adrian. And she goes, oh, hello, it's so-and-so, so-and-so. I was talking to you the other night, on the dating site. And you said that you love treating women well, spending lots of money on them, and taking them on holidays and taking them away. And I was like, who were you talking to? And she said, well, I was talking to you. I said, no, you weren't. She said, yeah, I was. So I was like, what did he sound like? And she said, well, this dating site, basically you rang in and left your message and other people would pay to listen to your messages. And the... no flies on you, Inky the cat. So people would ring in and listen to your message. And this woman had rang in, listened to my message, and got my telephone number. And the telephone number was TFM's radio station, main reception number. So she kind of explained it. And then about 10 minutes later, receptionist, Adrian, I've got another one. What do you mean you've got another one? You've got another one. I haven't got another one. Yeah, it's another woman who says she was talking to you on the telephone and she's ringing up to organise the date. I was like, what? So stay there, I'll come down. So I ran downstairs to reception and said, what's going on? And she said, I don't know, it's just that some woman's rang in, said she was talking to you. Put her through. So I goes back upstairs. Hello, it's Adrian. Hello, it's so-and-so, so-and-so. Are we going to go on a date? What do you mean, are we going to go on a date? I've not... I don't know who you are. Oh, yes, we talked on the telephone last night. What? How? Well, this dating site, you ring in and you leave a message and you ring in and you listen and then you organise and... Sorry, it's not me. I don't know, somebody's having you on. I don't know who it is, but somebody's having you on. But this is Adrian. I don't want to date. I am in a relationship. Can we leave it at that? Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. Puts the phone down. 2 minutes later, Adrian, this is getting serious. I've got another one. I've got another one. I'm like, what do you mean you've got another one? I've got another one. Another woman that says you were on the phone to her last night. And you've got a date. Stay there, I'll come down. So I went down to reception and I said, what's going on? What's going on? And she said, I don't know. This is the third one. What you been up to? I said, well, I haven't been up to anything. Put her through. So I go upstairs. Hello, it's Adrian. I said, what's going on? She said, what do you mean, what's going on? I talked to you last night. I said, does this sound like the man that you were talking to last night? No. Did he have a Sunderland accent? Yeah. What did he say? He said, well, I'd love to take you out. I like to take women on holiday, like exotic holidays in me sports car and stuff. And I like treating people well and spending money on them. I'm a tight arse northerner. And so I said, oh, look, it wasn't me. But what's this dating site called? And seemingly you have to put an advert in the paper and then with the number and your profile, and then they ring that and they hear you and they... no, it wasn't Mike Elliott, but that would have been funny. And so I ring the owner of this dating site and say, look, this is who I am. This is what's going on. Seemingly, I'm on your dating site. Oh, what do you mean? Well, I've had 3 calls into TFM saying that I'd been talking to women on the telephone and I was taking them on exotic holidays and spending stuff and taking them out for expensive meals and stuff. Right. It's not me. Are you sure? I'm damn sure. Give me the tape. Give me the tape. Anyway, he says, oh, this could harm me business. I said, damn right it'll harm your business. I don't know what's gone on. But, give me the tape. Anyway, he sends the tape through the radio station that day, bless him. And have a guess who was on the tip. Hello, my name's Adrian. And yeah, I love spending money on women. And I love taking them on holiday. Gary Minosh, you tart. So, Gary, Terence, I love you. I love you. I love you. I'd gone to this dating site. Hello, my name's Adrian. I love spending money on women. And I had to laugh. So I said to him, so I rang him up. I said, yeah, Gary, just on a phone call from, this business, this dating site that says somebody's impersonating us. And he said, you don't say. I said, no. I said, they're in trouble, though, because the dating site owner has contacted the police. And, whoever's left that voice message and had all these women ringing in is in deep doo-doo, Gary. You don't know who it is, do you? He went, no. All right, then, I'll see you at the weekend. I'll catch up with you later. Poof, phoned it. I left him stewing for weeks. 4 weeks. Oh, Terence, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love all your music. Hello, is that Adrian? Honestly, until tonight, I'd forgotten about that. That was like 1988. Funny ass. Should write a book about them. But I've been trying to find Gary because he's got a Polish second name and it's pronounced Minosh, but I can't find it. I don't know how to spell it. Just to kind of go, here, me mate Terence Trent Darby wants to meet you. He's heard about you. Brilliant. Lauren, I agree. And I'm more than happy to fall in with gags, so long as it's not cruel. Although, hang on. Towblock Tracy says, Adrian, I read that there was a population boom around Newcastle in the late 80s. Something you want to confess to the congregation, Vicar? No, I'm as pure as the driven slush. So, no, I'm not. Mind you, talking about a person of the cloth, see what I did there? Person of the cloth, Paula Venables. She's failed to disclose 16 cases that undermined Horizon. She's lied. Well, failed to disclose is the term. For me, if you're withholding stuff, then... And Mr. Bates. He's now a Mr. He's not a master. Mr. Bates is now saying he had to... Because you know that the post office scandal inquiry is still ongoing. Everybody thought it had gone quiet, but it's kept going. And Mr. Bates has said it's thugs in suits. Paula Venables, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Is she going to be the sacrificial lamb? Well, she was a woman of the cloth. I think she might be touching cloth after today. That's the post office inquiry. And by the way, talking about people who kind of just disappear. Knock, knock. Who's there? Ed. Is that Ed Davey? Yeah. How did you guess? Where's Ed Davey gone? That's correct. That Ed Davey, who was involved in the post office scandal, he was all wrapped up in it, leader of the Liberal Democrats. Oh, they're stuffed at the general election. Is he going to come out? Not out, just out. Is he going to come out at the lead up to the general election? Hello, my name's Ed. I'm the leader of the Liberal Democrats. No, you don't remember me. No, I wasn't associated with the post office at all. I wasn't the postmaster general or anything. I wasn't even a minister with a portfolio. No, don't be silly. Wait till he comes out. Not out, just out. Second question for you. You get me to tell you stories. I hope you enjoy them, though. Second question. Should we have, now considering, and I'll get to some other stories, the influx of the immigrants who are on benefits and phones and hotels and billions and billions of pounds that, well, that transfer of wealth is still ongoing. Should we have a system of paying into the benefit system to get paid benefits? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should we have a system of paying into benefits to get paid benefits? I know I kind of sprung on that on you quickly, but because you would think that now we're supposed to have a minister, a common sense minister, Esther McVeigh. She's the common sense minister until we have a general election. But should we have a system of paying into benefits to get paid benefits? And let me qualify that. I've paid into the system since I was 16-year-old. So 40 odd years, 45 years at least. So technically, I've paid into the system, so I should be able to get out of the system. But if you just appear on a boat in a life jacket, hello, my name's whatever. Now, Terry's saying, we have a system already. It's called national insurance. Introduce another system will merely cost you, the taxpayer, more money. I get that, Terry, but what I'm asking is, we have a system. Should we pay into that system before we're allowed to take out of the system? So you can't just appear on a boat in a life jacket and go, hello, my name's Adrian. Can I have a hotel and a mobile phone? And how much are you going to pay me a week? Oh, I'm not very happy. The Wi-Fi's shite. So, Neil Cunningham said, you can't use the words Esther McVeigh and common sense in the same sentence. I kind of agree with you, Neil. Retro says, NI is that system we paid in for our retirement. I agree with you, Retro, but it appears to me, and if you look at America and some of the other European countries, that there's this influx of immigration, and they haven't paid into the system, but by buggery, they'll take out of the system. They're here for the free NHS. The NHS is stuffed. I told you when I first started this channel, what's going to happen is you will get emergency treatment at the point of use and the rest you're going to have to pay for. Too many doctors want to be millionaires. So I'll ask you again, because I will have a look at these a little bit later. Should we have a system of paying into benefits to get paid benefits? And by that, I mean those that haven't paid into the system shouldn't be paid a penny, should not be given any benefits, not hotels, not sustenance, nothing. No supplication, nothing. So, I know we have a system already in place. Interesting. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Andy Turner, always for. Jackie Glasgow, I think it should be a different system for migrants. Like, to get benefits, they have to learn English. If they can't get work, do charity work and not get what Brits are entitled to. If I was king, because let's face it, the government only does what they're told, I would say, anybody coming here, immigrants, welcome. No benefits, 2 years. First 2 years, you're not allowed anything. You're not even allowed free NHS. Nothing. Nix. Nada. Nout. But the minute you get a job and start paying national insurance, that'll be turbocharged. So pay into the system for 2 years. So your statutory rights are there. That's when you can. But if you haven't got a job, there'll be boats waiting to take you back to France. I like to keep you sort of geopolitically. Evening, Amalia. Interesting point. Malia says, I don't know more at sea, each case taken individually. I like to give you bits and pieces so that it sort of gives you an insight and illuminates your path so you get what's coming. And were you aware that the Australian Labor government are trying to bring in their own hate law? Now, let me just tell you, it started in Scotland. Australia want to do it. Keep an eye on Canada, because if Canada want to do it, we know that it's the WEF. We know that the British Labour Party will be the new Marxist government. And this is going to, just bear with me, because this is we're going to dance a little. But I want to piece a jigsaw together for you. This is just my view. This is just my musing. I'm not suggesting this is going to happen. Just my musings. Stream of consciousness. But you and I know that if Keir Starmer, is he scaring you yet? When they're in government, and according to the newspapers, they're going to have a 200-seat majority. I mean, that's a dictatorship. They can just do whatever they want. There's poor Boris. They had a 96-seat majority, and he screwed it up. Inky the cat. Same when we were in Europe. If you wanted to go to a country within it, you had to work before claiming benefits. Interesting. Thank you for that. So we're going to have, so if you look at geopolitically around the world globally, the Chinese Communist Party or Russia, but certainly the communists, the Chinese communists, want to run the world. They want to have the digital ID. They want to have the digital currency. They want to be able to control you. Now, the Chinese, until they get riled, are quite a placid race. But if you look at New Zealand and Australia, they're red controlled. If you look at Europe, you're either red controlled, like the Labour Party or the Democratic Party, but they're now saying, the world is moving to the far right extreme politics. No, it's just people that don't want to be screwed over by a Labour-style Australian government, or Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, or Sniffy Biden, the Democrats in America. And what's coming here? Westminster? So I'm just giving you this little jigsaw pieces to put in your puzzle. But there's nothing wrong with politics and differences of opinion. But it's the power corrupting the politics that ruins it. That's what it's all about. As someone once said, politics is just society getting to know each other. Many roads to one truth. So it won't be long before Sir Keir Starmer is president of this sceptred isle, and he's going to bring that law into power. Now, Joe Biden, I don't know whether he's sniffing Colombian or whether he's sniffing children's hair again. But he's quoted today as saying, we're examining whether or not I have that particular power to decide whether people are allowed into America. I mean, the world is turning red from Joe Biden. Now, I will guarantee you this. Trump will not be president until he is president. What do I mean by that? You just keep watching America. It's eating itself. It's disappearing into the sea. They've never really had, apart from the War of Independence, they've never really had any theatre on their territory. How would that happen, Adrian? So let's have a look at more pieces of the jigsaw. According to Joe Biden, there's no guarantee that he's going to be able to have the power to stop the illegals from getting into America. If you look at the mainstream media, can't quite work out what they're doing, but they are looking at allowing people into their country, whether it's the European superstate, whether it's the British Isles, Australia is like, you're not coming in here. Don't care if you land on a boat, we'll put you back on a boat and shove you back out to the sea. So don't be coming here because you won't get in. America, Mexican border, bring them in. 7 million and odd they've allowed into their country. So Joe Biden has said, I'm going to examine whether or not I have that power, because he doesn't want people going, oh, that Joe Biden, man, worst president we've ever had. And look what he's done with the illegals. He's saying there's no guarantee, but he says he's considering it now that the bipartisan border legislation didn't make it through Congress. He said he didn't have the power. Issue an executive order then. Now that they've imported more illegals than the population of 36 states to ensure they win more elections, the Biden administration suddenly cares about closing the border. Remarkable. Remarkable. But you've got that happening. And they say that America is sort of the leader of the West. So you've got the communists, you've got mostly America leading the UN and all the major organizations that were supposed to keep peace for the world, time immemorial after the Second Great War. But if you look at it, they wanted everything done by 2030. So you have 6 years to wake yourself up if you're not already awake. And you have Donald Trump going in as president in November when he wins the election. If he wins the election, that's what I'm saying. He will be in the White House he will be inaugurated in January. But the people behind all of this, the massive transfer of wealth to the super rich, the land grabbing super rich, the decimation of the farmers and the farmland and the farming so that you will end up eating bugs. And I don't mean to scare you, because I just want to make you aware of stuff if this stuff does happen. Half the time, it's like they give you worst case scenario. You get so frightened, you just want them to look after you. And then they go, all right, you don't have to eat bugs, but we control all the land now. So they're saying in the newspaper today that anchovies is more nutritious than meat. Now, I kind of get that on one hand, but they want to decimate cattle, and so that we become vegetarian. So keep an eye on Rich Boy and Del Boy Trotter. They're doing multi-billion pound deals whilst the Tory party is eating itself from within. So let me offer this. See how this fits. Try this on for size. Rich Boy is a Manchurian candidate. What is a Manchurian candidate? Someone that acts on behalf of a foreign power. Now, this may, and I know that I keep going on about this, and some people might go, oh, how are you, man, Adrian? It's a bit dull. Can you not work on something else? Can you not entertain us, please? Well, of course, I can entertain you, but I'm just letting you know that if you don't keep an eye on this, if you tolerate this, your kids will be next. So you have to keep an eye on these snake oil sellers. So let me just proffer this. If you wanted to decimate a right-wing party, because that's what the Conservatives is and are, what would you do? Can't do it externally because the British people will be up in arms. You've got to get somebody in there that's your man that's going to destroy it from the inside. So when you have Liz Truss or Rich Boy standing for the leader of the Conservative Party, and there's only the Parliamentary Conservative Party that can vote, not the Conservative Party out in the field. Fishy rishy. Take out the blonde boy, and then you kill it from the inside. Because think about it. Once Labour get into power, the Marxists, the communists, not Corbyn, but Starmer. Is he scaring you yet? They're getting closer to 2030, and all the laws that they're going to put in place to restrict you, what you eat, what you do, where you go, how you go there. Have you noticed how I predicted last summer when the insurance companies came out and said, we can't insure electric vehicles anymore because it's costing us more. We may as well just replace it with a new car than replace the battery on an electric vehicle. So we're going to start and pull out of the market, and we're not going to insure them. And I told you then, some people were really, oh, you can't say that, Adrian. How can you say that, Adrian? Easily. Now, with hindsight, when I told you 6 months ago, it was very easy to see. Follow the money. If the insurance companies are not willing to insure electric vehicles because it costs more to replace them than it costs less to replace them with a brand new car than it does the electric vehicle battery. And now loads of car manufacturers are getting out of the game. But they're still intent on putting you in 15-minute cities so you can have little electric cars or a bicycle made for two. So how do you transfer the voting populace from either a two-party system in America or a couple of party system in the UK, but the political classes know exactly which way you're going to vote, when you're going to vote? All of that. Rich boy is the Manchurian candidate. So long as Infosys benefits. Who's getting all of the government contracts, or a lot of government contracts, from the United Kingdom? Don't take Einstein to work it out, and I've told you before, so long as the politicians can deny it, no, do me. I don't dictate to the missus what she does. She can do anything she wants. Non-dom, anybody? So just be aware, these snake oil sellers, Sunak doesn't care whether this country falls into the English Channel when he leaves office. Because he'll just go back to California, just live his life out with his billions. But the Tory party are going to be so obliterated at the general election, they're never going to recover. Ever. Unless they want to give some power away to Reform, but Reform are in a proper difficult position. So politics for the rich, by the rich. It's got nothing to do with you. You've got to vote. I've told you, Ken Livingstone, if voting changed anything, they'd abolish it. 18 months ago, I interviewed Gina Miller for my radio show. Thank you, Neil. Much of what she said made a lot of sense. There are some... No, there's not. There's no honourable politicians. How can you tell when a politician is lying? Their lips move. Loads of them are getting out of the game. Loads of them. Why would they get out of politics? Well, that close to 2030, they know what's coming. They know what's happening. What does Ray say? Reform, paid opposition. I know. The game is... They make it, the political classes, the corporate classes have superseded the political classes. They are making you think that you've got choice. They're making you think you can determine the outcomes. You can't. You can't. Because you've been asleep for too long. Not necessarily you, because there's a lot of critical thinkers here tonight. Let me tell you about this Bulgarian gang. So this is how lax the system is and the people working in the system. Because if a British national needs some help, loses a job and needs some help, it's all dependent on how much their partner earns. If the partner earns over a certain threshold, you can't have any benefits. Can't have any unemployment benefits. So what's the benefit system for? The illegals? I thought it was there to help people who may fall on hard times, not, well, yeah, your partner's earning too much. So what is the benefit system there for? To pay the Bulgarians £45 million. That's what it's there for. So the crooks, the ne'er-do-well, the miscreants are all going, yeah, how can we make a few bob out of the British system? Well, Bulgarian gang, 5 Bulgarian criminals made 6,000 claims over 4.5 years. They were awash with money. They couldn't spend it quick enough. They didn't know what to spend it on. And someone is quoted as saying, it's a very serious attack on the UK benefit system. No shit, Sherlock. And yet there are certain people in this country that can't have benefits, are refused benefits. There are those with disability that can't have disability benefits because they're now means testing them, and they turn around and say, no, you can't have benefits. But a Bulgarian crime gang can spunk 45 million and start buying any amount of houses and buildings and stuff in Bulgaria. Oh, we've got about £700,000 back, says the benefits system, out of 45 million. You could buy Bulgaria for 45 million. So they wash the money so that they get it out of the country. They wash the money. So they start buying cars and expensive watches and buildings and homes. We're not going to see a large chunk of that £45 million. And it's the system. Yet you get overpaid by a penny, they're after you. 45 million. Yeah, and the pensioners, so that they're now, sorry, Rich, they're saying that the pensioners, the triple lock, they're not going to get the full whack. It stinks. The whole thing, there's no integrity, there's no decency, there's no one at the front saying, I'm going to lead, we're going A to B, and this is how we're going to get there. I want you to come with me. There's no leadership. They're all just trying to fill their pockets as quick as they can without getting found out. Or HS2. Oh, who started buying all those houses and homes that were going to be on HS2 that were compulsory purchased over the price they paid for it? They think we're stupid. Little aside, Met Police. They're saying, God, facial recognition's a game changer. No, I didn't say the same about Romania. I didn't mention Romania at all. I talked about the Bulgarian crime gangs. It's been a running theme this evening. But Met Police are saying facial recognition is a game changer. No. Because you know what facial recognition can't do? It can't recognise your ugly fizzog if you've got a beard. That goes for the girls as well. I'm not talking about Sophie Wessex. If you've got a beard, no, as Terry Wookfit says, facial recognition didn't help find Abdulazidi, did it? No, beard. Did he? So they reckon that's why a load of men are now growing beards, because facial recognition can't recognise your face. So the cameras can't identify anyone that's got a beard. Oh, blimey. Good news for Downton fans. Proper news. Forget all the politics, Adrian. Forget Joe Biden. Just tell us about Downton, man. What's going to go on with Downton? After the question. Question number 3. We've got 4 of them. We'll do the last 2 quick. Question 3. Should mobile phones be sold to under 16s? Should mobile phone sales to under 16s be banned? 1 for yes, 2 2 for no. Agincourt. Should mobile phone sales to under 16s be banned? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yeah, there is a reason why I'm asking it that way, Rich. I know what you're saying. Completely know what you're saying. So, should mobile phone sales to under 16s be banned? Because that's what this rich boy and the Conservative government are going to try and do. But as Rich says, the parents are just going to buy the phones anyway, under their name, because parents do. Parents will buy the phone and the contract and just give the phone to the kids. And if the thinking is, the zeitgeist, well, if they get attacked, or let me tell you, if your child is attacked, and heaven forbid that ever happens, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, they won't have time to make the phone call. Can't find a telephone box anymore. They've all gone, virtually. Hang on. Nicholas says, I would love to produce you. However, I fear after a week we'd be the two Shanghai to Rwanda. 2 bottles of water and no hats. Bring your baseball cap. Should mobile phone sales to under 16s be banned? That's what the Tory government are planning. So it'll be interesting to look at that answer when I finish this live tonight. Downton. Now, I know that a lot of people that watch this live and other videos on this channel like a bit of Downton. So let me tell you that, Jim Carter, he's Charles Carson, the butler. And Hugh Bonneville. I wish I could tell you my Hugh Bonneville story. Now that I've told you I've got a story, I can't tell you the story. So you'll just have to watch other lives and I'll be clever about it. So Hugh Bonneville, Earl of Grantham, they're both going to be in the new Downton movie being shot this summer. I also understand that Paul Giamatti, Countess of Grantham's brother in Downton, has also been signed up. So they're just trying to get all of the actors in place. But it's the Dowager Duchess. We're not interested in anybody else. We just want the Dowager Duchess there to say, what's a weekend? When you've been using your end far too much, it gets weak. Now, Highclere Castle in Hampshire is scheduled to do the recording over the summer, and the film, not TV series, the film is going to be scheduled for international release in 2025. And the last 2 Downton movies made 220 million at the box office. A piece, I think that is. And Imelda Staunton, who left Downton to go and play the Queen in The Crown, she was interviewed on a podcast and she said, oh yeah, this is going to be the final film. Only going to be 3. But I mean, it's every 3 years. So some of the old ones might, fall off their perch before another Downton movie is made or TV series. But it's a huge money spinner around the world. Certainly in America. They love it. Love it, love it, love it. Bad Wolf Project says, Adrian, many moons ago, I worked for Vodafone on the billing helpline. I took a call one morning from a mum for her son. First bill, £4,800. Wow. Inky the cat's very proud. Never seen it. Oh, you're missing out on one of life's quaint little luxuries. I was one of those people. And I didn't do it just out of love. But, the new Mrs. Allen was like, oh, you've never watched Downton? No, I'm too busy, man. Watch it with me. All right, then. So I watched it and got into it and quite enjoyed it. To the point where the new Mrs. Allen and I actually walked down the staircase on our own, nobody in front, nobody behind, of Highclere Castle. We went inside. Just a glorious. Money can't buy that. It's just glorious. Busy while we were there, but for some inexplicable reason, as we got to the top of the stairs, and the staff said, oh, you're lucky. There's nobody on the stairs. Do you want to go down on your own? I was like, You mean down the stairs? Yes. Okay. So we just held hands and walked down in a lovely romantic interlude. Loved it. And it's just one of those quintessentially English that, we should be proud of. Like, all these idiots, all these ne'er-do-wells, the utter wrong-uns of the world who go, oh, I say, yes, what about the empire? And what about you did this? And what about you did that? Oh, agenda, agenda, agenda. Why can't we just be proud of who we are? It's like, we've got St. George's Day coming up, April 23rd. How am I going to spend it? Roast beef dinner. A nice beer. Why not? Have fish and chips in newspaper. Why not? I will tell you this. Maybe this is for another live. I will make a note. But I put ketchup on my chips. Not something I'm proud of until I went out for like a family meal. And I'm from the north and they're not. And they all started laughing. I said, what are you laughing at? You put ketchup on your chips. I said, what do you mean? That's where ketchup's supposed to go. Oh, no. One puts ketchup on the side of one's plate. And I laughed. On my own, obviously. And they said, what are you laughing at? I said, you put ketchup on the side of your plate. I'm so glad we both saw the funny side. But, third world problems. I was going to tell you something about after that. I can't remember. Last question. And a serious question. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Arranco. Do you want the same Scottish hate laws in England? Peter Conway. I just like going for the brown every time, every now and again, just to mix things up. Do you want the same Scottish hate laws in England? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Not that I'm influencing you at all. Somebody's bound to say yes. So they're the questions for this evening. I will look at the answers and have a look at them a little bit later and possibly do a video about them. But so can you see how they foist laws on you that you genuinely just don't want and don't see any benefit? So in Scotland, Police Scotland, they have had 8,000 responses, 8,000 complaints, 8,000 reports, however you want to deem them, but 8,000 of them to get on with. They're not going to be able to solve crime in Scotland. Maybe that's the point. Maybe they don't want them to. Maybe they want people to suffer. Maybe they want people not to have their house burglaries investigated. Maybe they don't want people to have rapes solved. Maybe they don't want people to have really serious crimes of all kinds sorted and solved. Because somebody said something that I didn't really like. And it's a third-party report. So me and you are saying stuff that we really shouldn't be saying. But you go and tell somebody, and somebody is offended, so they'll report third party, having not experienced it, not heard it, not seen it at all. Thank you for all your responses. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Oh, let me tell you about Liz Truss. Got to tell you about this because it's going to be serialised in the Daily Mail next weekend. Got to tell you this. Now, I'm going to be really blunt. Because when you look at politicians and there's something about them. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what I say. Please don't Google this if you're at work or on anybody else's computer. It's not suitable for work. It's not suitable for home in certain situations. Wow. For your information, it's legal to hate women in Scotland, but not the blokes in dresses. Wow. So Liz Truss, her political memoir is being serialised. It's called Driven Out of Downing Street. So the next time you see Liz Truss, have you noticed the necklace that she wears all of the time? She doesn't wear anything else. I mean, she wears clothes. Obviously, you're wrong. But look at the collar. Look at the necklace, the thick, chunky necklace. You know what that is, don't you? It's called a day collar. Liz Truss is a sub. Now, if you don't understand what I've just said, don't. Clear your history if you do. Her permanent necklace is a ringer for a day collar. And I want somebody, somewhere, the next time she is interviewed to say, so tell me about your day collar, Liz. Because what that signifies to the rest of the world. You're wrong. Who says that? Alan says, who thinks Adrian should stay on another hour? You're wrong. So Liz Truss, I dare, because I would, if I get the opportunity to ever interview Liz Truss, my first question is going to be, and probably the last one in the interview, Liz, is that a day collar you're wearing? So what that signifies to the rest of the world is that they're dominant. There is a dominant that owns that sub. And no one is allowed to dance with that sub. So that's what she's wearing around her neck. And she won't take it off. It's not a coincidence, Fred. It's not. Jane, you're wrong. Let me explain something to you. When I finish, because of the adrenaline rush that I get from doing this, it's the same as doing phone-ins or live radio. It takes a while to come down from it. I've never done recreational gear, so I wouldn't know what that is like. But coming down from adrenaline takes a while. And I don't... What? Oh, yeah. So just keep your eye open, because it's going to be serialised next week. And she's going to be everywhere. She's promoting it. Books coming out, promote. Have a look what she's wearing around her neck. When she was Prime Minister, she wore that every single day, apart from maybe 1 or 2 days. I was like, hang on a second, has she fallen out with her dominant? 50 Shades of Westminster. I was going to make a video about it, but then I thought, we will get into trouble. Hang on. Thank you, Terry. Do you know I can't even say that on YouTube because it's deemed unacceptable for a family channel. At what time is it? 10 o'clock at night? How do we end shite, man? Not Terry, the YouTube. Wait, hang on, what are you doing? Right. I would love to go on for another hour, but I wouldn't get to sleep till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have things to do tomorrow. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to get the go-ahead to do an interview tomorrow or Friday that we will put on the channel. There's another person that said yes to an interview on the channel that is quite special, is very special. And I'm going to have to up my game for. Thank you to everyone who's interacted with the live this evening. There's 195 people watching this particular live. Go on, smash the likes for me. Really would help. Window licking special, Terry? Oh, definitely. We're all windy lickers, as the Scots once said. We're going to get to more interviews because people are saying yes to them. This one that I want to do tomorrow is is wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a great story. fabulous story behind it, which I think you might just like. Amalia Grassi says, so glad I made it this evening. Night-night all, night-night everyone. Smash the likes before you leave the church, before I lock the doors, and make sure you're all out of the pews. No staggering out. I want the church wine back. The sacrificial wine. Yeah, wrong uns. And I can take my frock off, because men are allowed to wear frocks now. So they say. Don't forget I'm on X. So you can follow me on X if you have a profile. Please do follow me on X, because it will make all the difference. I have to get up to 500 subs on X, and we're not at 200 yet. So the more the merrier would be wonderful. Thank you for your likes, smashing them. Thank you for and please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for more videos that are coming. I've got a Belfield coming in the morning. That's a video before you say anything. And thank you for everyone interacting in the comments. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. I shall see you in the next live Sunday at 8 o'clock. But whatever you do, don't forget the Battenberg.